It's time for another welding video. Not the sort of standard one, a little bit different this time. I've got the good old faithful out again. It is January, the welder's out. I'm going to be welding up my mate's C36 for an MOT, but I wanted to make a little bit of a video that goes in a little bit more detail about welding and why I do it. I've just welded up a couple other cars recently. Both of them were, I suppose, beyond economical repair. And I want to show you why welding really is invaluable. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips about those cars, how bad the repairs were, and then at the end of the video I'm going to get into a little bit more detail about why I do what I do and how I've achieved it and why you guys should do it as well. Alright, Pamo subscribers, how's it going, folk? This is a bit of an impromptu video today, encouraged mainly by Natalie, just to show you a little bit of my life outside of Hondas and BMWs and Mitsubishis. The winter of welding begins. I don't know what is my problem, but I seem to have a penchant or a desire to do welding in the winter time. Well, I don't, that's crap. It always ends up being the way that as soon as the weather gets below 5 degrees, shit needs welded. What I've been doing in the last couple of weeks is trying to help a work colleague get his car through an MOT. That began with a few bits of maintenance that was done on the car, continued on to a sensor problem. The car went for the MOT and it failed on a little bit of rust. It didn't actually look that bad underneath, but there was two little 50p size holes in the inner sills at the rear, which I fixed yesterday and didn't take me too long. Upon finishing those two parts yesterday, I turned around to be greeted by a subframe which was made of Swiss cheese. So I'm going to rock on into the garage now and I will show you what I mean. So a little word if there's anyone out there that owns a Hyundai Coupe or a Hyundai Tiburon in the US, I think they're called. Check your subframe, folks, because you know the floor of the car is actually fairly good, it's reasonable, but the subframe is knackered. If I take you into the garage, I'll show you what I've been working on and the uphill struggle that we've got. Now, before I get to this and show you it, I will say this is uneconomical to repair. I am mad. There's really no point in me repairing this except for the fact that the chap that I know can't afford to buy a new subframe right now, and we can only find two kicking about on the internet, one of which is £185 and the other is £220. I'm stuck, basically. I want to help this guy out. Because of that, I am doing this. So excuse the mess, guys, this is me leaving this yesterday when I was halfway through a job, but there is your Hyundai Coupe subframe, what remains of it, with lots and lots of chunks hacked out of it that I'm going to attempt to repair. Believe it or not, there is actually a bit of useful metal in here that I can work with, just about. There's not a lot of it, but there is some. So I'm basically patching all the parts I can. I put this panel in yesterday. Today I'm going to aim to do these two and this one, and then start to move around to this back side where I've got a patch in here. I'm going to have a patch in here. I mean, I'd probably better shit, man. I mean, yeah, where do you start, where do you stop, who knows? And then hopefully we'll get around to the other side if we can do. I don't have a lot of time. It's got to go back through for its MOT within the next couple of days. So we've cracked. I cracked on quite some, and we've got subframe again. It ain't pretty, but hopefully should do. There you go. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see because the camera here is a bit difficult with the light behind it, but there's the panel you saw the other day. There's a patch in there, there's a patch in there, there's a patch in there. The whole bottom ended up coming out and I replaced the whole lot. So from where you see the weld line just here, all the way along here to the other side, I put a new piece of steel in, and then if we skip round the back of it here, similar sort of thing round the back. So we've got a patch round there, we've got a small patch in here, and then a small patch in here. It must be mental. It's the winter time again and we're out here again. It's 5.5 degrees today. I'm going to fit this sodding thing, call it a day, stick it through for its MOT, and then I've told him to get shot. Yeah, there you go. The beginning of the winter of endless welding too, I guess, I suppose. So, finish one damn welding project and another one comes in straight away behind it. As some of you know out there who watch the channel, Natalie has got a Civic. This Civic. This is a Civic. I love the Civic. It's a great wee car. It's got a wonderful gearbox. It's comfortable. got shock absorbers that work, that aren't stiff like my BMW, like the FTO. It's got heaters. And it's got probably one of the cleanest engines that I've ever seen. When Natalie first bought this car, I took the rocker cover off just to inspect the valve train. And the valve train of this engine is literally, hands down, the cleanest one I've ever seen on any car. I've obviously never opened up any engines of any brand new cars. I'm used to looking at cars which have done nearly 100,000 miles, and you open up the rocker cover and you normally find there's a lot of oil varnish, like a brown tint to most of the aluminium work in there. That seems to be, it's fairly normal, you know, I mean, it's not that unusual to see that. But cars that have had oil changes at regular service intervals and have been looked after properly have engines like this Honda. If we can, we'll chuck a picture in the video just to give you a little idea why I'm going on about this. Unfortunately, it's also got cancer, and it's got an MOT which is due in about a week's time, so I have to fix a couple of things. This light needs to be fixed. That's obviously a little bit too cloudy for an MOT. There is a CV boot in there which has shat itself and has decided it wants to be dead, and it's rusty, and the rust started with your usual hole in the end of the sill, just in the wheel arch, normal Honda kind of crap, and then I got underneath the car and it has rotted to hell basically. It's been welded in the past really badly. None of the patches on this car have been welded 100% of the way around. They're totally shocking. So I'm going to chuck a little picture in the video now showing you what it looks like when you take away about half a ton of seam sealer and you find beneath it the most dog shit welding job that I've ever seen, bar maybe my BMW video. So yeah, we're back there again, guys. Man, I don't know why I do this. Now, this car really, I'll be honest, is probably beyond repair, but I love it so much that I really want to hang on to a Civic at least, and having got rid of the silver one, this is one we're stuck with. So we want to really keep it on the road for at least another year, so I'm going to patch up all of what you see in this this video, and we're going to make it MOT worthy, but I think it'll probably be the last year of its life because the rot is really beginning to creep down into the chassis to a point where I reckon you've got a year left and it's just pointless trying to fix it. So I'll stop waffling, I'll show you a few wee bits of what I've done underneath the car. I'm just going to get my jacket on so I can get underneath, and I'll get the camera back up. So we're suited and booted. This is our rotten, poor rotten, cancer driven Civic. Now this is the back of the wheel arch. That's the inner skin there, which is gone. That's the outer skin, well, it was the outer skin. Inside the wheel arch, that metal there is actually, I could probably do something with that, but as you can see the rest of it is totally shot away, and if I try and, I don't know if I can achieve this, but if you could see in there, it's like a rotten debris field of crap. So yes, that's not particularly nice either. And then the fun comes when we really get underneath the beastie and we see what we've got under here. So I'm beginning to feel like saying welcome to my fucking office, getting underneath these things. Yes, underneath here we have got a little bit of action going on. So that's the end of the sill, as you can see, there's the wheel arch, and then if we come round here we have got patch panel settee. So as you can see, the rot really is beginning to move. There's the helmet out of the way, the whole way down the sill here, all the way in between the body panels and back all the way up. It's just bloody everywhere basically, man. Just get my clamp off there. So this panel is one that I've made up today, and I'm making this out of 2mm thick steel, which is excessive, but you know, I figure bugger it, if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it as solid as I can. You can sort of see the little panels that you saw earlier on, and as you can see, these panels haven't been welded the whole way around at all, man. You know, who does that crap? You know, they've done that and then just chucked a whole load of seam sealer on it, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, passes an MOT. Dodgy MOT, man, you know. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, this is not a holdout. That's alright, solid enough for a year's worth of work, but I reckon by next year it's all going to be shot as well. So, you know, we're going to do our best with this. We're going to try and fix it. I'm going to get a little bit of light on a beautiful face. Yeah, we'll try and fix it. I'll plate up as much as I can, and we'll put it through for a test. If it passes the test and the MOT tester's happy with it, we'll drive it for another year, and then we are going to spend that year looking for another body shell, and we'll grab another one of these, take the engine out of that one and put this one in,
and we'll have more years of happy Civic motoring. I'm really sad. I love this car. I know it seems ridiculous, but I've got a bit of a thing for Hondas, and I used to have CRXs, and apart from their dodgy bodywork, they're great cars. The gearbox on this car works better than any gearbox I've ever worked in any car I've ever had. Okie dokie, so we've done the underneath of the car, but I've made a massive plate out of 2mm thick sheet steel and I've banged it over the top of the rust. Basically, I'm not messing about with this car. She is beautiful and I do love her, but the cancer's pretty bad, so I've decided we're just doing a functional repair to get this thing through an MOT for another year, whilst we try and find another shell for this beast that is rusty as hell. So yeah, we've done underneath, but we still have many holes. We have this here, bloody mess, and we've got this here, bloody mess, which we're going to fix right now today. Now, Natalie actually changed the wing on this car not long ago, which is just down here. That is a new wing, nice and solid, no rust, happy as Larry. Okay, which means that I had a bit of spare metal kicking about. Now I want to replicate this shape here, and has it been known that this shape here is not too far off the top of a wing. This plate here has actually been cut out of part of a wing around about this place here. Being Japanese steel, it's thin as paper, so it'll be fun to weld. We're going to weld that in, and I'm running out of batteries in the camera. That's a bit of a nightmare. Oh well, we'll keep talking for a couple of seconds. We're going to weld that in down here, so it replicates the hole in the sill and covers up our patch.
Okay, so as you can see, some of the stuff that I do is on cars that really are beyond economical repair. The reason I learned how to weld is it was always a bit of an enigma to me. Before you can weld, you look at metal and the only way you can fix it together is with nuts and bolts. And there's massive limitations to that. You know, there's not very much that you can do with a drill bit and a couple of nuts and bolts. Having a welder opens up a whole new realm for you. And the welder that I use, as you can see from being in the garage there, it's a piece of crap. You know, it's a £100 second-hand welder. It's a 110 amp, little mini MIG welder. It's never going to change the world, and it certainly is not going to give you welds and give you the ability to do stuff like you see on Instagram, these beautifully TIG welded pieces of stainless steel. I would love to get to that stage, but I don't need to do that sort of thing to just get a car through an MOT. The cars that I've got, the way that we save them and keep them running for a few years is by just getting, you know, metal that's solid together and bonding it in a way that it won't fall apart and it'll pass an MOT. Some of the stuff that I've seen in my past is shocking. The stuff that you see on the internet, the YouTubers out there that are doing good work, they do a lot better work than I do, and that is always going to be the ultimate goal if you want to learn how to weld. But the point I'm trying to make is that the ability to weld just a little bit really is what saves these cars and keeps them running. It keeps us having fun with the motors that we've got, and it keeps it cheap. You know, it's something that we all really should be at least thinking about. You know, I want to encourage you guys out there to not be afraid of welding. It's actually quite damn easy. The key points of it are making sure it's clean, watch a few videos, have a try at it. You're not going to learn it from a book. You learn it from touch, you learn it from listening to it. Watch your YouTube videos and have a go, and try and learn how to do welding that is applicable to you. And don't be afraid of thinking about it as a tool. It's another tool that you've got in the garage. You know, provided you keep it clean and you look after it, which I don't do all the time, it will actually allow you to do things like remove bolts, which are really difficult. It will allow you to weld a nut onto a bolt that's snapped the head off. It will allow you to heat metal up. That's one of its core functions. That's what it's doing. You're passing electricity through something, it heats it up to buggery and it melts it eventually. That's byproduct is that if you've got a really nasty rusty bolt in a chassis, if you pop the welder on it and heat that thing up and then let it cool down, 9 times out of 10 it's going to decide that it wants to come loose for you. What I do is not magic, it's not rocket science, it's basic welding. It's enough to get things, as I said, through an MOT, and it's a damn sight better than what a lot of local garages will do. So get out there, get yourself a welder, have a bit of fun, ruin a few things, fix a lot of things, and by no time you'll be having fun and doing what I do. Especially if you like older cars. There's no other way to keep them going. Unfortunately, guys, the rot will come. It will come, and it will usually come in the winter time and in the rain. Ask as many questions as you want. I'm certainly no welding guru as you've seen, but I know enough, and I hope that I can encourage you guys as well to get in there and know what I know. Go for it, have a shot at welding. That's it. Nice video. See you soon. Paymo out.